Alright, so, before I get started, little, you know, just to say, so this, this all happened. Okay, so I probably would have gotten this done sooner instead of the last day of the month. But, here's the thing. I decided it to be Tuesdays. I recorded all of them. They're all recorded. They're all there. They're ready to go when the time comes. So they're all done, and I did those, and so I had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I was gonna record. I was gonna watch and record this review, watch the movie and record the review for this movie on Friday. Then I changed my mind and did the WrestleMania 31 review instead. And then, in the middle of me watching the WrestleMania, I think it was towards the end, or maybe even after I've already got done and I had recorded the review. No, I think it was in the middle of watching it that I saw that Louis Gossett Jr. passed away, and I went, oh, shit. Not that I wanted to capitalize on it, but you know how much, how weird it would have been if I had done that, because it would be in the morning, I was off that day, so I would done that, uploaded it, and then seen that he passed away. I would have been like, whoa, what the hell? But I didn't. I didn't do it, and now I kind of regret it, but now I'm doing it now, right? This movie, which is Iron Eagle. By the way, hello there. I'm Scotty, and my pick for March is Iron Eagle. That's right. Iron Eagle is a movie. So I'm talking about these movies. Don't get enough. The movies that I like that don't get talked about too much, I guess. But they're also ones that I have stories to share with. So there's that. My knuckle just cracked. Yes, it did. And I'm hungry, so I'm kind of trying to go through this quick. So it's probably going to be a short review. I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. But anyway, it might also be that might also be a Scotty tries. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm still thinking about it. Anyway, so Iron Eagle tells the story of Doug Masters, who is a fighter pilot in training. He's a high school student. His dad is an Air Force colonel, and he gets shot down over the Middle East and is held hostage by them, and finds out that his dad's going to be executed. So, with help of his friends and another Air Force colonel, Chappie Sinclair, played by Louis Gossett Jr., they're going to mount a rescue mission to help save his dad. So first of all, I'm going to talk about how this is overshadowed by another Air Force movie that came out in the same year, although that was the Navy, not the Air Force. This is Air Force, that's Navy. But still, it's a fighter pilot movie. And of course, it's Top Gun. This came out in January of 86, and then Top Gun came out and just blew this one out of the water. And those are Navy planes, this is Air Force, but still, this one doesn't get talked about enough because that one, it has about the same kind of, it has the soundtrack, it has the cast, it has, the high-flying stunts, just like this one does. No, this is not better than Top Gun. Don't be crazy. What kind of drugs you on? No, I'm just saying that this is still good. It's underrated, I think, as one of those. But you got like I said, the cast. Okay, so you have Jason Gedrick playing Doug Masters, Louis Gossett Jr., rest in peace, as Colonel Chappie Sinclair, and you have Laura Hardin plays Doug's girlfriend, Katie. His best friend is played, I don't remember the character's name, played by Styles himself, Jerry Levine, from Teen Wolf, the one with Michael J. Fox. You have Shawnee Smith as a character in here. The little brother is Melvin. Doug's little brother is Melvin from Tremors. Robbie Rist, who you may know from, let's see, Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch, or the voice of Michelangelo in the Ninja Turtle movies, the first three, or that guy that got squashed by a bus in Sharknado. That's a deep cut reference from my channel, because that was a while ago. Sharknado Revisited, anyone? No! Anyway, yeah, the cast is there. And the dad. Doug's dad is played by Tim Thomerson. Jack Death himself. I couldn't believe it. They don't show him at first, and so then they show flashbacks after he's been captured. And I'm like, what? I know that voice. What? His hair is down. It's not the color you would think that Jack Death would have, but it's Jack Death. It's him. It's Tim Thomerson. Yeah. And he's not playing a stereotypical tough guy character like Thomerson. He's a little more of an understanding thing. So we kind of start this. I will say that this is more of a character study than you think, like Top Gun. It has character stuff in it, but there's a lot of flights and music. Obviously, they were limited with this, and probably didn't have a big enough budget like Top Gun, but which is obviously always going to be compared to. But so there's a lot of stuff. Like we get some aerial stuff. I think it's like 3 or 4 different times we get it. There's a thing in the beginning where he's flying, and then he goes up to race his rival guy, and then there's like maybe a couple, and maybe it's 5 because there's a couple training stuff that they do, or there's one train thing he does with Chappie, and at the end the rescue. So about 4 or so. But there's a lot of character stuff in here. Like, for instance, we meet Doug. We meet him. We learn that he applied to go to the Air Force School, or Air Force Academy, doesn't get in, and then he gets in a fight with his, Hawkner or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. It's a weird name. And then they do a little race thing, and it's kind of, they introduce Chappie early on when he first comes back from his first thing. And they also introduced this thing he has where he plays music while he's flying. So it's diegetic. It's not just for the soundtrack. He's listening to it too. So the music that's played, he's listening to it. And, we find out that he does that because it helps him keep momentum. It helps him, keep in time so he can do stuff. Because the one time that Chappie yells at him to turn it off, he can't shoot. And then turns it back on and is able to do it. So it helps him. I don't know. To each their own, but I don't know if I'd be able to concentrate. I grew up in the 90s where you say, I followed the Bill and Ted thing of do your homework wearing headphones, and as long as I didn't turn the music on, it was fine, I guess, because I couldn't, I'd play the music, trying to do the homework, and I could do it now, but back then, I kind of need something playing in the background if I'm writing stuff down, you know what I mean? But, yeah. So, it's right after they found that he's been captured, and he's at his prom when everything goes down. They're meeting in the kitchen, they're talking, and so he goes to talk to another colonel or whatever, and or general, whatever, and then it basically says that they can't do anything. Anything could be considered an act of war. They can't do anything right now, but they're, he's been captured, and eventually, though, it's found out that he's going to be hung, which is the correct way to say it, not hanged. Sorry, it sounds wrong. It's hung. Anyone who says hanged is wrong, and it is hung. Sorry. He's going to be hung. So, and it really, Air Force is not going to do anything. So, Doug decides that he and his friends are going to set something up so we can go rescue him, and he recruits Chappie, who at first is kind of like, no, you know what you're doing, and then once he realizes, these kids got their act together, My problem is that I don't know why I was expecting this, but I thought that there would be more than just 2 of them going up. When we get to the final, the climax of the film, it's just Doug and Chappie. I was under the impression that because they were putting all together that they're going to be like maybe Styles and their other friend, Reggie, I think his name is, that they were also going to go up. That they had some kind of experience because they're all on an air base. They live on an air base, they have experience. No. It's just those 2, which it makes sense because you don't want to bring in too many, but still, And you kind of get the sense why they only had those two, because once you get going, it kind of just, you understand when I get to it. So, uh, yeah, but the middle of the film is basically them setting up this whole thing. They have his friends going in because everyone's on the airbase. They're all, Air Force brats. They're all military brats. So they're all talking to their parents and distracting them and getting stuff they can use. Eventually set this up. So that's it. It kind of just molds there in the middle, and then once we get off and going, there's like a training thing, and uh, yeah, and they do eventually get over there, and Chappie is shut down because we need to have Doug be the one that saves his dad. So that's why I was saying that, if they had more of them, they'd have to do something else with them. It's just two of them. You can shoot Chappie down and have Doug be the one that rescues him. Or, a better way to write it is that Doug goes down to rescue his dad while Chappie fights off those, because they decide to have Doug just go in there and mount a full scale attack himself. He's taking out oil refineries. He's building up napalm, and he's going in, and his dad gets shot, but he rescues him. And if they had another person up there, and maybe they thought of that too, because as soon as he gets back up in the air, and it looks like they're gonna get in trouble, then the Air Force comes and rescues them. So it's like, yeah, okay, but if they had Chappie up there, they would need, and Chappie has this story of how, I met your dad once, and he seemed like a guy who deserved respect or something like that. They do also compare music, because uh, he's listening to the 60s music, stuff like 60s and 70s type music, those stuff Ain't a Mountain High Enough, I think is one of them. No, Proud Mary is played, not that one. It is, I can't think of it. Give Me Some Lovin' plays, some older songs he plays, while the 80s rock is played for Doug. So yeah. But eventually they get him out of there, and they go back to the Air Force Base in Germany, and they find out that Chappie survived and swam this way until he found someone fishing or something, and it took him there. So he survived, which the Air Force kind of knew about, I guess, because they did do this whole thing where they fly for. There's a whole thing where they fly for a missing person. I don't know, but yeah, and everybody's happy to see them. I like how. So first of all, the dad comes out, and the mom comes up and hugs him and whatever, and I think the daughter is there too, and then uh, and then Chappie comes out, and all the friends come up and hug him, and they're all happy and everything. And then I think except for Reggie and Styles, I gotta call him Styles. That's all he is. And then Doug comes out, and then but you got this announcer guy. Okay, so the scene before this, right? Doug and Chappie go in and talk to them, basically saying that you can't say anything about this mission. Never happened. We don't know. You can't say anything. You can't disclose anything. It's all that. And then Chappie's like, well, this kid, he can't keep his mouth shut. So you're gonna have to do something. You got to put him somewhere. We didn't put him in a penal colony or something. No. You see, he applied for this Air Force Academy, and I think it would work if he. And it cuts off. Basically, Chappie talked them into sending him to Air Force Academy to keep his mouth shut. I guess that's bribery, brother. But anyway, yeah. So then, as they're coming out, the person talking for the news or whatever is saying that the Air Force mounted the rescue, and it's keep being kept hush hush. So they introduce the dad. He's yeah, they rescued him, and then the mom comes up and hugs him, and then they introduce Chappie and said he aided with the rescue or was something like that. He may have been something like that, and then the friends hug him, and then when Doug comes out, they said that he flew over to meet with his dad. So he flew over to Germany to see his dad, which sounds like bullshit just hearing it. But anyway, so like his girlfriend comes up and hugs him, and then his two friends are there, and they're like, eh. And then they run up to him, all happy to see him and everything, and the movie ends. But yeah, there's some good air stunts in this. I think I don't know if they apparently they weren't allowed to use actual because of the way the Air Force were pricks was what it sounds like. No offense to our Air Force soldiers, but it turns out that from what I heard is that because of the events depicted in the film, the Air Force were kind of pricks about the situation. They thought that the scenes of them sneaking in and undermining security, they wouldn't be able to do that easily. It's a movie, and so they weren't able to fly the planes, the Air Force planes that they're supposed to, and flew different planes. And yeah, this is what I saw in Joe Blow. So if I'm wrong, if I heard wrong, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is pretty good. It's a fun watch. It's a low one because I can also almost say middle of the road. In fact, I'll give it a high middle of the road. Scratch what I said before. It's a high middle of the road because I thought there was more action in it than there was, but there was just a lot of there's some flying stuff. Because I think maybe you go in thinking it's gonna be like Top Gun, and it's not. Like there's some flying stuff at the beginning, and then you get to the middle, and it's all that planning and sneaking in and all that stuff, and then you get a couple training montage things, and then the big scenes happen at the end, which works, budget and all that. But yeah, so it's a high middle of the road. So yeah, so what are your thoughts on Iron Eagle? Leave a comment, so much for like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.